Hello, my name is Midnight Bandit, aka the Midnight Bandit. Uh, my real name is Jared, and I saw a video. Someone was emotionally reacting very strongly to a YouTuber, which obviously the title would lead you to believe that this is about Finn McKenty, the punk rock MBA, and that is very true. This is a shameless grab for attention, and I'm only doing this to be able to propel my views forward, upwards, because I'm on disability. I don't have that much money. I make music, I play music, and that's kind of my thing. But I do have value, I will essentially try to give you value during this short video. And kind of, I want you to ask yourself some questions, because I'll put it like this: I do not understand fandoms, like being a fan, unless that person has earned my trust, right? Like, people can be entertaining and, like, fun to watch, but until they have provided me with a sense of value and wholeheartedness and being wholesome, the essential, like, if I can see their heart and their intention and kind of extrapolate that they are a genuine, authentic human being, then that's one thing. But if they're just like, providing a service, like a value, whether it's music or entertainment or something like that, if they happen to turn around and be somewhat of a fraud, like Finn's case, where he says that over the years of him putting so much money and effort into creating content specifically around music, and then they turn out to be someone who is disingenuous. I think I said that right. Maybe I didn't, but you know what I mean. They're not in it for anything other than the money. I mean, I think we as a species have to get together and try to determine someone's worth and value and just their authenticity in a way that is realistic and healthy. Like, yeah, if I found out that any of the YouTubers, like let's say Charles White. I don't have anything against Charles White. We're talking about Moist Critical. But if it came out, I don't know, in like a month or so, that he was some kind of a dirtbag or something, right? It's not something that, like, of course I would be like, oh, well, that sucks. He seemed to be like kind of a decent person. But, you do have to realize that people are multifaceted, and even someone like universally praised, like John Lennon, he was abusive to his wife, right? He was very mean. And then, it's kind of funny because people who, there's so much jokes and so many bits of crap thrown towards Trent Reznor, but he makes really negative and kind of harsh music, but he himself is actually a pretty awesome dude. Maybe he's a bit eccentric. I don't know the full story of him, but compared to someone who makes, like John Lennon makes a lot of happy music, but he turns out to be pretty mean. I don't know. It's interesting because the very idea that people could still kind of be a fan of Kanye or be a fan of Chris Brown or anyone. It goes to show me that people are willing to follow anyone based on the most shallow reasons. And I think a lot of that comes down to ego. And when I say ego, I mean like people, this is when Finn McKenty talks about a band like Linkin Park, that band is, people have made that band a part of their personality, a part of their history, a part of who they are as a person, which, in my opinion, that's dangerous territory, because everything disappears, everything erodes, everything meets its fate, and it gets well acquainted with entropy. It gets bastardized. It gets completely twisted around. Like, for a long time, my favorite author of all time was Neil Gaiman, and that man turned out to be quite the bastard, really. So that's all I'll say about that. It's still kind of a grieving process, but you just have to realize that you can't hold on to something forever so tightly that you'll never ever let it go. These things end. These things disappear. They become something different as time goes on. Even me, I could turn out to be like an absolute terrible person, but all the people listening to this right now probably have no idea who I am. So I will introduce myself now quickly. I make beats, which is kind of, it sounds not indicative of what I really do. I spend hours every day for years making instrumental tracks. I also put vocals on things. I collaborate with people. I play the instruments, or I use FL Studio. But I've been doing this for a very long time and very consistently. I have a online community that I love, and today is kind of a heavy spot in my life because one of our close friends passed away, and that's just weighing heavy on my mind and all of our minds. But at the same time, I have to continue. I have to start making content on a more regular basis because I guess I just want to live a life that may be a bit more comfortable than it is now. Right now, I don't have a lot of money. But yeah, anyways, I digress. Getting back to the situation, ego and the attachment and hanging on for dear life to things that we make a part of our personality, our identity. Like, that's only going to lead to more and more suffering, because you'll realize that, like, for instance, something like Star Wars fans, when Return of the Jedi came out, back in the 80s, people hated it for the Ewoks. It became something different, and then the people after that, during the prequels, they had probably watched the special edition of the 3 first Star Wars movies and thought they were awesome, Return of the Jedi included. And then they hated the prequels, and then, the sequels, and the spin-offs, and whatever it was. And things change. Like, you have to realize that something like Linkin Park, it's different now. It's a different band. I used to always wonder why people would get upset about remakes. This has been going on since, oh god, so far back. People just throw a fuss. People throw a fit about anything changing. It's like a small town. It's like our YouTube website is like a small town. Anything that changes, any small, it's just, all I have to say is get used to it. Change is a constant. Change is the only constant, and things will change. if we hang on to the past, we hang on to, and we don't adapt to how the future presents itself, then we'll be constantly suffering, right? Like, so many people are so stuck in the past, and they're not having fun. They're completely wrecks. I mean, there's people out there who get upset because, the skin color of their beloved cartoon character is slightly different, or whatever the hell it is. And I don't understand. I don't even want to sound like I care in this video about any of that. If anything, I'm 34, turning 35 next year. I don't have the time in my life to dedicate to some of the most benign and absolutely meaningless bullshit and pretend like I'm invested emotionally in this stuff. What I'm invested in emotionally, to set the record straight, is the people who care about me, the people who give time within their lives to check in on me, to listen to my music, the stuff that I make, my art. I have time allocated towards creation and going outside for walks, being in nature, performing down at the water for people, giving the world wonder. And after the 1,000th video of whatever topical YouTuber at the time happens to be embroiled in some kind of a drama, it just gets absolutely, it just gets like drudgery, really. I'm tired of having to go into this app and find another person. Oh, do you hear about so and so? Do you hear? I don't like gossip in real life. Why would I like it on the cyber web or whatever the fuck this is? I'm sorry, but it's so not gonna give my life value, right? If you go into any situation, go into it thinking that you can give value to it. And if over time you find that certain behaviors and certain paths and certain avenues of consumption, whether it's media or whatever it is, if it doesn't work for you, if it's actively stressing you out, like going on Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, if this stuff is a net negative in your life, and the only thing that it's giving you is like short dopamine bursts because someone liked your relatable meme or something, cut it out of your system. This stuff is more harmful than junk food psychologically, and if it wastes like a great portion of your life. Like, I can see Gen Z and like Gen Alpha and quite a few millennials as being like a great fraction of their life. Like, when I say fraction, I mean like I'm gonna say a huge amount of their life is spent either in front of a TV screen, playing video games, watching a movie, watching Netflix, or engaging with this bollocks, this fluff. Like, if you really want to make money, make something of value. Give an opinion that inspires someone to make a video, not about other people, not about how people suck, these people suck, those people suck, blah blah blah. Like, I get that there's drama to be had, but yeah, I just feel I just feel that that there's better usages of time. So this is a rant. This sounds like an old man shouting at cloud rant, but I guess now I have to get to the part of this conversation, this one-way conversation, that I hope you consider. Now, the best thing you can do is decide internally what your values are. Now, I mean, like, get a piece of paper out or a notebook or something. You know, write it in the notes on your phone or something. But you, at any moment, you are guided by your internal compass, and your internal compass is your value system. If you think you know what those are without even thinking about it, you know, I would implore you to reconsider. Write it down so that if anyone were to ask you what are your values, you can come up with 3 right off the top, right like you've prepared it, because at any moment in time you have the choice whether or not to be a good person and add value, light, love, laughter, and healing to the world, or, you know, act on instinct, reactive bullshit, and be a reactionary, which is the same as being having a temper tantrum, which is not masculine, it's not feminine, it's immature and sad. So, what are your values? What value do you want to give to the world? And yeah, just ponder that. Ask yourself those questions. The best thing you can do in life is figure out how to assert yourself in situations and ask amazing questions. The more attention you show to people and their passions, the more likely you will succeed, right? Give your attention, pay attention to these people, to the world, as long as they're giving you something of value. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm going in. It's like circular logic now, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, have a wonderful day. Stay frosty.